Video opens with intriguing, slightly mysterious music and visuals of a dark riverside road at night. Have you ever heard a story so strange, so bizarre, that it just has to be true? Or maybe so bizarre it couldn't possibly be? Today, we're diving deep into the murky waters of one of America's most peculiar legends, a tale that hopped straight out of the heart of Ohio. Forget Bigfoot, forget Mothman for a second, because we're talking about the Loveland Frogman. It all started on a cold March night in 1972, right outside the small, quiet town of Loveland, Ohio. A police officer was cruising along Riverside Drive, a lonely stretch of road bordering the Little Miami River. Suddenly, his headlights caught something in the middle of the road. It wasn't a deer, and it definitely wasn't a person. He described it as a creature about 3 to 4 feet tall, with leathery skin and a face that resembled, you guessed it, a frog. It was crouched down like an animal, but as the officer's car approached, it stood up on 2 legs and stared at him with glowing eyes before scrambling over the guardrail and disappearing towards the river. The officer, understandably shaken, reported the incident, but he wasn't the last to see it. Just 2 weeks later, another officer, Mark Matthews, had his own encounter in the very same area. He was driving along when he spotted what he initially thought was roadkill. He got out of his car to move it off the road, but as he got closer, the roadkill suddenly stood up into a crouched position. It was the same frog-like creature. It stared at him for a moment before limping over the guardrail and vanishing down the embankment. This time, there was a bit more evidence. The first officer returned to the scene with Matthews and found distinct scrape marks on the guardrail where the creature had climbed over. Now, you might be thinking, 2 police officers? That's pretty credible, and it is. These reports sparked a media frenzy. Reporters and curious locals flocked to Loveland, hoping to catch a glimpse of the amphibious anomaly. The legend of the Loveland Frogman was born. But the story doesn't end in the 70s. For decades, things went quiet. The Frogman became a beloved piece of local folklore, a quirky town mascot even. Then, in 2016, the Frogman hopped back into the spotlight. A couple playing a popular augmented reality game late at night near Lake Isabella, very close to the original sighting locations, claimed they saw something truly strange. They snapped a picture and a short video of a bizarre figure with glowing eyes near the water. The photo went viral. Was this the return of the Loveland Frogman? The creature in the photo looked just as described, a large, frog-like being. However, the original photographer later came forward, admitting it was his friend in a homemade frog costume. Bummer, right? But here's the twist. The original 1972 officers stand by their stories. One of them, years later, offered a possible explanation. He suggested that what he might have seen was a large iguana that had lost its tail. Pet iguanas were becoming popular at the time, and it's plausible someone released one that grew unusually large. It might have been sitting upright on the road in a strange way. Still, does a big iguana explain the glowing eyes and the leathery, frog-like face? That's the million-dollar question. So, what do you think? Was it a misidentified animal? A prank? Or could a real, unknown amphibious creature be lurking in the rivers of Ohio? The Loveland Frogman remains one of cryptozoology's most charming and enduring mysteries. A little bit silly, a little bit spooky, and a whole lot of fun. It's a reminder that even in the most ordinary places, extraordinary stories can leap out at you when you least expect it. Thanks for joining us on this dive into the weird and wonderful. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more adventures into the unknown. Let us know in the comments what you believe about the Loveland Frogman. See you next time.